So look at this concept clearly. That is the sets, relations, and functions topic. So in that first we'll see what is meant by this set. How do you define the set? And how do you represent the set? And what is the operations on the set? And all these things we will see it now. So first we'll see about the set. So what is meant by this set? And how do you define this particular set? Means the set we can define as the collection of well-defined objects is called a set. Okay. So means if some objects are well-defined, means there is no proper definition for them. And if you collect all such same property of the element, that is called the set. Okay. So in this set, all these objects will be listed out and will be separated by the commas. So for representing that, suppose I want to write first 10 natural numbers, I want to write it. First 10 natural number. Here the natural number is defined properly. So the first 10 natural number means those will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Like that, all those elements we will list out them and we will separate by the commas. And if these elements are inscribed by the curly bracket, remember that always you have to represent by the curly bracket only for the set. So this is called the set. Means this is the collection of the first 10 natural number. That's why the set is defined as the collection of the well-defined object is called a set. So for representing this particular set, all these objects in the particular set, we will call them as an element. All the objects in the particular set, we will call them as an element. All these elements will be separated by the comma. So and all these elements will be inscribed by the curly bracket. Okay. And generally the sets we will represent by the capital alphabet. That is capital A, capital B, capital C, etc. We will represent all the sets. Okay, all the sets we will represent by the capital alphabet, but generally the elements will represent by the small alphabet. Of course, we can also keep the capitals there, but generally will represent by the small alphabet. But the sets are going to be represented by the capital alphabet always. Understand? Now, after knowing this particular set, how can you represent this particular set? For representing the set, there are the two ways are there. So one is the roster form. One is the roster form. Another one is the set builder form. There is the two ways are there to represent the set. So one is the roster form. Another one is the set builder form. What is meant by the roster form? Means whatever the form I have explained here. Means in this roster form, all the elements we will list out and we will separate by the commas. Means all the elements we will write it by separating the commas. So if you represent the set like that, which is called the roster form. Okay. So set builder form means here we are not going to write all the elements, but all these elements we will represent by their common property. Only with their common properties represent them. So then that is called the set builder form. How do you represent them? It is a common property means, suppose I want to represent this particular set. To represent this is we will write like that. This is a curly bracket. All those elements represented by some variable, say x, such that x belongs to n. Means all these elements are the natural number and those natural numbers are less than or equal to 10. If I write like this, means all these elements are representing the natural number which are less than or equal to the 10. That's why all these numbers will represent like that. All these numbers are going to represent by the x. How these x will be? These are the natural number, means x belongs to the natural number, that too x is less than or equal to the 10. Okay. So this is going to represent all these numbers. So this means this is the property of all these numbers. So this property should be unique. Remember that. This property should be unique. No other elements are going to satisfy this property other than this. So like that, if you represent the set, which is called the set builder form. Okay. So similarly, suppose if I want to represent the prime numbers which are less than 20. the set of prime numbers which are less than 20 if you want to represent it. So the prime number means those are the first prime number is the 2, then 3, then 5, then 7, then 11, 13, 17, 19. These are the prime numbers. Okay. So if you list out all these elements and by separating the commas, if you represent the set like that, this is called the roster form of the set. If you write like that, this is called the roster form. Okay. So, but all these elements we can also represent by the property like that. So this is also you can write as an, that is the x, where x is the prime number less than 20. Like that you can represent it. Okay. So all these elements are going to be the x, where x is the prime number that is less than 20. So like that if you write it, all this is going to represent by these elements only. Like that is the property if you write it, this is called the set builder form. This is the set builder form. Like that, the sets we can represent in the two different ways. One is that is the roster form. Another one is called the set builder form. Like that we can represent the sets with the two different ways. Okay. Next, we have another concept which is called the cardinal number of the set. The next one is that cardinal number of the set. So cardinal number, it is nothing but the number of different elements in a particular set is called its cardinal number. The number of different elements in a particular set is called its cardinal number. Suppose for example, if A is equal to has a set whose elements are 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Suppose if these are the elements of the particular set, okay, then the cardinal number is nothing but the number of different elements in the particular set is called its cardinal number. So that cardinal number will represent by the n of A. N of A means that is the number of elements in the set A. Number of elements in the set A is equal to, tell me how many different numbers are there here?
5.
5 different numbers are there because total numbers are 3, 6, 9 numbers are there total, but out of them the different numbers, even though if any element is repeated so many times, we have to consider only one time that element. So that's why the number of elements here it is a 5. So total elements are the 9 of course, but some elements are repeated. Even though if these are repeated, you have to consider them as only one time while counting the numbers. Okay. So the number of elements are the 5 only here. That is called the cardinal number. Okay. So this is about the cardinal number of the particular set. Next, here we have the different types of the set. Those are types of the set. So types of the set means the first one is which is called the null set or empty set or void set or void set, etc. So null set, empty set or void set. What is the meaning of this? Means it is the set in which it doesn't contain any element. No element is there in a particular set. Such a set we will call it as a null set or void set or zero set. Generally zero you are not going to use it. So just we'll call it as a null set or empty set or void set we will call it as. Okay. So that is, we can represent like that. Only the curly bracket, don't write anything there. So no element will be there in that. No element if it is there, that is called the void set or the null set. So this is we are going to represent by the symbol called, this is a symbol we will use it. So this is, we will read it as an pi. Okay. This is the symbol of the pi. The pi we will use it for representing a null set. Representing the null set. Suppose for example, if I write the set, X is the set of even prime number. X is the set of even prime number which is less than 1. X is set of even prime number or such that suppose 3 less than x less than 15 and x is equal to even prime number if I consider. Suppose if I write the set as like that. So this is the set of the x where x is going to lie between 3 to the 15 and where x is the even prime number. So do we have any even prime number between 3 to 15? Between 3 to 15 do you have any even prime number? No, only even prime
No.
number is the 2. Only even prime number is the 2 that is outside this interval. That's why, so this set contains no element. That's why this is called an empty set. Means empty set means no element will be there in that particular set. That is called an empty set. Understand? So that is the first set. The next set, second set is that is the singleton set. Singleton set. What is meant by this is a singleton set? So the name itself represents singleton, means that is the set which contains exactly one element. That is the set contains exactly one element is called the singleton set. Suppose if I write the set like that, if there is only one element is there, that is called the singleton set. Only one element should be there in that particular set. So this is, you can also write in the set builder form as like that. So x, where x is the even prime number. So this is the set x where x is the even prime number. If I consider the even prime number, only one even prime number will be there, that is the 2. That's why, so this set contains only one element, that is called the singleton set. Understand? Singleton set means that is the set which contains exactly one element is called the singleton set. And empty set means no element will be there, that is called the empty set or void set or null set. So that is will represent by the symbol called pi. Okay, you have to remember that. Next, we have some another set which is called the finite set and infinite set. Finite set means that is the set which will contain the finite number of the elements. Whatever the sets I have explained to you up to here, all these are the finite sets, means which contains the finite number of the elements only. Those elements are countable. Number of elements we can able to find it. Another one is that infinite set means so it is uncountable number of elements will be there. Those elements we can't able to count them. Such set is called the infinite set. Suppose if we consider that set of natural number. So set of natural number means those are the numbers started from those are the positive integers starting from the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no ending at all. So up to the infinity will have the so many terms. That's why this is the infinite set. So the number of elements are not finite. Such set is called the infinite set. Understand that? Okay. Okay. Next. Another one is that equivalent set. Equivalent set. What is meant by this equivalent set? Means, so these are the sets, equivalent set means, so these are the two sets such that if their cardinal number are equal, for the two sets, if their cardinal number are equal, then those sets will call them as an equivalent set, but these are not the equal set. Remember that. There is a difference between equal set to the equivalent set. Equivalent set means the numbers or elements may or may not be equal, but the number of elements must be equal. Suppose for example, if set A has the element A, E, I, O, U. Suppose set A has the set of so the set of alphabets A, E, I, O, U are there, and B is the element say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if I consider. These are the two sets. So if you observe these two sets, the elements are completely different, but the number of elements are equal. means n of A is equal to n of B here. So in both the set contains the same number of the elements, that is the 5 only. Then those sets will call them as an equivalent set. So equivalent set means those elements may or may not be equal. The elements may or may not be equal, but the number of elements must be equal. So the number of elements are equal in the both the set. That is called the equivalent set. Okay. Next, another set is there, that is called the equal set. So equal set means these are the two sets which should contain the same elements. Both the sets should have the same element, and the number of the cardinal number also should be equal. Suppose if A has the elements like that, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Suppose A has these elements and B has the elements say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose if we consider these are the two sets. If you observe these two sets, whatever the element that A contains, B also has the same element. Means A and B has the same element, and that too their cardinal number also equal. Means here the number of elements is equivalent to the n of A is equal to the n of B. Here n of A, that is the number of different elements in the set A, that is 5. Here also that is the 5. Their cardinal number are equal, and that too those elements are also the same. Same elements only are there. Then such sets will call them as an equal set. If the two sets are said to be equal, then we will write as an A is equal to B. Then we will write it as an A is equal to B. So this is called the equal set. Now understand the difference between the equivalent set to the equal set. Equivalent set means the elements may not be the same. It may be the same or may not be the same, but the number of elements in both the sets must be equal. So such sets we will call them as an equivalent set. Equal set means both the sets should have the same element and their number of elements also should be equal. Then that is called the equal set. The two sets are said to be equal. Then we will write that A is equal to B. We will write like that. Okay. Next, another set is there which is called the subset. Another one is called the subset. What is meant by this subset? Means A comma B are any two sets such that if every element of the A is available in the B, then A and B are, A is called the subset of the B, we will call it as. Okay. If A comma B are the two sets such that every element of the A should be available in the B. That is, for example, suppose A is equal to the set 1, 2, 3. B has the set 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us assume that. Suppose these are the two sets. If you observe that, here you can observe that every element that contains in the A is also available in the B. Every element of the set A should be available in the B. Then A is called subset of the B, and B is called superset of the A. Right? A is a subset of the B, and B is called the superset of the A. We will call it as. So if A is the subset of the B, that is the symbol we will use like that, and this is we will read it as an A is subset of B. We will write it as an A is the subset of the B, and this is the notation we will use for that. A is subset of the B, or we can call it as a B is the superset of the A. So B is the superset. This is we write like that. So B is the superset of the A. Like that we will write it as B is superset of A. Understand? So this is the symbol we will use it to represent superset, and this is the symbol we will represent subset. Means in this subset, these both the elements, both the sets may have the same number of the elements also. Means here equal to symbol is also there. A is equal to the B. Suppose if A is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. Means all the elements of the A available in the B and all the elements of the B also available in the A. Means here these two sets are also equal sets only. And here also we'll call it as an A is the subset of the B. Similarly, B is the subset of the A. Also you can call it as when they have the same element. And similarly, A is also you can call it the superset of the B. B is also called the superset of the A. That means when equal to is there. Okay. So subset means both the elements both may have the same number of elements, both the sets, or one set will have the less number of elements than the other. That is called the subset. Okay. Next, another set is there which is called the proper subset. Proper subset. What is meant by this proper subset means if A comma B are the two sets such that if every element of the A is available in the B and B should have at least one more element than the A, then we will call it then A is the proper subset of the B. Means here the number of elements in the B should be more than the number of elements in the A. Means n of B is greater than n of A always. Then A is called the proper subset of the B. We will call it as, then this is we will write as an equal to symbol. We will not use here because B will have at least one more element than the A. That's why these two sets are not equal. That's why that equality sign we should not take in this case. Understand? So this is called A is the proper subset of the B and B is called proper superset of the A. B is called proper superset of the A. Understand that? So this is the meaning of the proper set, proper subset or subset. Okay, proper subset means so B should have at least one more element than the A. Then A is called the proper subset of the B and B is called proper superset of the A. Right? So this is the meaning of the proper subset and subset. And another set is there which is called the power set. Another set is there which is called the power set. What is meant by this power set? Means this represent the set of all the subsets of the given set is called the power set. The set of all the subsets of the given set is called the power set. Suppose for example, if A is equal to 1, 2, 3. If we consider this is the set A, then we will list out all these subsets of the A. So the subsets of this A are, always remember that the empty set or void set or null set will be the subset for every set. For every set, that empty set will be the subset. That's why pi is one subset for every set. Then if I take singleton set with only one element, so this will be the subset of this because all the element of this set is available in this. That's why this is a subset of this. Similarly, if I take only 2, that is also subset of this. Similarly, if I take only the 3, this is also subset of this. Similarly, if I take the elements 1, 2, if I write it, all the element of this set is contained by this. That's why this is also the subset. Similarly, if I take 2, 3, that is also subset of this. Similarly, if I write that 1, 3, that is also subset of that. So similarly, the set itself is also the subset of that because all the elements of this set contains this, means these are equivalent sets. That's why every set is a subset itself also. Remember that. Every set is a subset of itself also. That's why. So these are all the subsets of the given set. These are all the subsets of the given set. Okay. Now tell me how many subsets are there here for this set? How many subsets are there here? 1,
8.
8 subsets are there. 8 subsets are there. Means the given set contains the 3 elements. If it has the 3 elements, then the total number of the subsets are the 8. that is we can add the 2 power 3, 2 raised to 3. That's why if the given set has n number of the elements, the number of subsets are 2 power n. The number of subsets are 2 power n. This is the formula we have to remember. Understand? So if you list out all these subsets, this is, we will call it as the power set of the given set. This is called the power set. This is, we will represent by the P of A. This is represented by the P of A, means that is the power set of the given set. So power set is nothing but the set of all the subsets of the given set is called the power set. Means suppose if A has the n elements, n of A has the n elements, the number of elements in the power set is equal to 2 power n. Those represent the number of subsets of the given set A. Understand? So that is the point you have to remember. So the number of elements in the power set are the 2 power n, that represent the number of subsets of the given set are 2 power n. This is the formula we have to remember. Okay. So for all of them, the notes is available in our material. So you can go through that particular notes. Again, you no need to write the notes. In our material itself, the notes is available. So otherwise, in the
Yes.
chat also will provide the notes to you for this. Okay. So this is about the power set. Next. Yeah. Any doubt? Another set is that is called the universal set. Universal set. Look at that. What is meant by this universal set? Means this is the boss of every set. Means if you consider some sets, if all the elements of those sets are available in a particular set, that is called the universal set for all the given sets. Suppose for example, if I take that A is equal to say 0, 3, 5, B is equal to say 1, 2, 3, and C is equal to say it has elements 2, 3, 4, and D is equal to say C is 1, 2, 5, 6, etc. Let us assume that. Suppose if I consider these are the 4 sets, and if I consider one big set which contains elements of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if I consider, all the elements of the set A is available here. All the elements of the set B is also available here. All the elements of the set C is also available here. All the elements of the set D also is available here. Means the superset for all the given set is called the universal set. So generally these universal set we will represent by the capital U or capital X or capital Y or capital Z, whatever you want it, you can represent by this symbol. Generally you will represent by the capital U or capital X. Okay, that is the universal set. Universal set is nothing but that is the superset for all the given set is the universal set. That's why, so A will be the subset of the universal set, B is also will be the subset of the universal set, C is also will be the subset of the universal set, D is also will be the subset of universal set. Means every given set will be the subset of that particular set. So that is called the universal set. That is the superset for all the given set. Okay. Means whatever the sets are there, all these sets will take from that particular set only. That is called the universal set. Means for the given information, the universal set is the biggest set. Understand? So this is the meaning of the universal set. Now, here these are the different types of the sets. All these sets we have to remember it. Okay. And now we have the different operations over the set. So the operations over the set, if you consider operations on set, in that the first operation is that is called the union of set. Union of set means if A comma B are any two sets, A comma B are any two sets such that their union will represent by A. Here we will write that U symbol, and this is we will read it as an A union B. This is, we will read it as an A union B. So like that we will read it as, where this union, we can also call it as an or. Whenever if you find the word or, in all such cases we will use the symbol called union. So that's why this is nothing but, this is the set which contains the elements of either A or B. The set of the elements which are available either in A or in B, that is, we will call it as an A union B. Means suppose if A has some element 1, 2, 3, and B has the element say 2, 3, 4, 5, and A union B, if I consider, A union B means this is the set of the elements which are available either in A or in B. That means that is the set of all the elements that are available either in A or in B is called the A union B. So what are the elements in the A union B? 1 is there in the A, 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, and 5 is there. These are the elements which are available in both the sets. Sorry. That is, all the elements that are available in both the sets is called the A union B. So this is read as the set of elements which are available either in A or in B is called the union of their set. That is read as an A union B. Understand? So similarly, we have one more set that is called the intersection of the set. Second one is intersection of the set. Look at this. What is meant by this intersection of the set means, that is, we are going to represent symbolically as like that A intersection B. That is, if you write like that, this is, we have to read it as an A intersection B. Intersection means that represents the common elements which are available both in A and B. So here intersection means whenever intersection is there, this is, you have to read it as an and. When or is there, union is there, that is a symbol we will use it to represent or in general. So A union B means those are the elements which are available either in A or in B. A intersection B means those are the elements which are available in A and B. A and B means this is going to represent the set of the elements which are available in A and B, and B means those represent the common elements which are available in both the sets. Tell me, what are the common elements which are available in both the sets? What are the common elements?
2 and 3.
2, 3.
2 and 3. Okay. So this is called the A intersection B. Understand? A intersection B means those are the common elements only we have to consider. But A union B means those are all the elements which are available either in A or in B. That is represented by A union B. Okay. Next, we have one more operation that is called the difference of the set. Difference of the set. Look at this. What is meant by this difference of the set? Means if A comma B are any two sets such that their difference, you write that A minus B, or this is, we can also write as an A slash B or A by B also we can write it. A upon B we can write it, or A slash B we can write it, or A minus B we can write it. This is called the difference of the two sets. That means A minus B means that represents the set of elements which are available in A but not in B. Means A minus B represents those are the elements which are available in A only but not in B. Suppose if A has the set 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 and B has the set say 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, let us assume that. These are the two sets. Okay. Now A minus B means that represents the set of elements, which are available in A only but not in B. सिर्फ A में चाहिए, B में नहीं चाहिए. तो कौन सा एलिमेंट है? सिर्फ ए में है, बी में नहीं चाहिए।
1.
कौन सा element है? हाँ?
1.
1 और
5.
5. 1, 5. So this is only the elements which are available in A only, but not in B. That is represented by A minus B or A by B. Like that we will represent. Similarly, B minus A. B minus A means those are the elements which are available in B only, but not in A. B only, but not in A. Tell me, what are the elements which are available in B only?
0, 3, 7.
0, 3, 7.
So this is called the difference of the B and A. This is the difference of the B and A. This is, you can also write as an B by A